Hello fellow island riders, I am incredibly glad to have you guys out for the ride again today because it's our first ride of 2021. That's right, the first time out. Man, it's a beautiful day. I was sitting in front of the desk doing work all day long today, just staring outside waiting for my chance to take this beast out. And man, Fox cannot wait to be out here riding. So, since it is the end of another month, I figured it's time for a channel update. And what a perfect time, too. I mean, you know, I'm up here in Prince Edward Island, of course, but I know the rest of the places around Canada are just having great weather. I've been seeing people in Ontario, British Columbia, and they've been just loving it. So, you know, if your season has kicked off, I am so excited for you. Mine is probably still, like, truthfully speaking, it's probably got some weeks to go yet, because I know the forecast here coming up has got a lot of snow and a lot of ice and a lot of cold weather coming up. But today we have plus 10 degrees Celsius, a beautiful sun above our heads, and an awesome motorcycle underneath of us. So let's get into a little bit about what's coming up on the channel and where we're at. So by now you'll be deep into Cavendish. We've had a really good spot in Cavendish and there's more to come. It's a big 3-part series. Well, it's not really big, but there was just a lot. I found so much on that one trip and I wanted to share it all. I didn't want to, you know, cheat you guys out of anything, so I had to break it up into 3 parts. But I'm glad. I'm really glad we found it. You know, we looked at a spot in Cavendish where we didn't think we'd find anything, and man, did we ever find something. So, what's coming up? Well, we got another video series coming up here, and that would be the last video series on the bike really for the 2020 season, and that is where we go out towards Morel and we start digging around a place called Five Houses. It's another 2-bike series right there, another quick hitter series, but we find some really cool stuff there and an excellent trail system, so I can't wait to share that one with you as well. Some other more administrative things. Number one, if it is your on season, if you're back out on the bike, do be careful. Absolutely ride safe and ride with like a heightened situational awareness around this time of year, because there's a lot of dirt, there's a lot of mud, there's a lot of ice still on the road. So I know the craving, the urge to get out there is hard, but definitely, you know, take that extra bit of time to judge the conditions. I don't want to see a rider go down, folks. Our ride group is strong. It's getting bigger, you know, every month. And I want to make sure all of you guys are being safe. Because I want to keep hearing those stories in the comments. And I want to keep seeing you guys coming out for the rides every week, every Monday. Because that's what we're all about here. New videos every Monday. If you're new to the channel, I'm excited to have you here. Another really cool part about today is I've got all these new mods on the bike. I got the windscreen riser. I got the skid plate underneath of us, and it's good to get it out and check them out. Now I can tell you right now, the windscreen riser is doing great. It's doing exactly what I thought it would. My head hasn't been getting knocked around too much, which I've been really enjoying. But I will say this, I think I got a vibration issue with that blasted skid plate. Hear that? I gotta figure out what that is.
All right, fellow island riders, let's take a bit of an aside here and figure out what that noise was on the Silver Fox. So number one, the first suspicion I had was the blasted skid plate. So I took that right off, revved it up to the same RPM that we observed the sound at, and noticed the sound went away. Also, I also looked at the bottom here on the frame, and I noticed right in this section, a little bit hard to see. Let me move this in a bit. There we go. Now you can see the area where I cleared away. Well, just above it, or just right around here, we could see that there is a little bit of wear right there. So there's some rub in that direction. Next step, I went and I looked at the actual skid plate itself. And while I didn't notice any wear right around this area where we saw it, I did notice back here there is just this tiniest smudge, which could show some sort of vibration, metal on metal contact. Anyway, I've got a couple ideas for this, but overall, I'm not surprised. I mean, this thing here was put on with incredible effort, and I'm not surprised that it's vibrating. These things kind of vibrate whenever you have like metal next to metal and the two things start to vibrate independently. They develop these like harmonic zones, which is why at only certain RPMs we see these things, you know, reverberating and kind of like a harmonic, and it kind of bounces off each other. Anyway, that's a lot of like physics and waves and stuff that I won't go into, but all in all, it just means that I got to get some dampening. And I got to get a way to, one, secure these a little bit higher off. So I'm going to have to bring in the spacers again. I ditched the spacers when I installed this. I figured it was just too hard to put on, but you know what? I'm going to have to find a way to get spacers on these. But I'm going to use some sort of dampening material in between that for washers. Second, I'm going to dampen the actual sound zone of this. So not actually providing padding against the frame. Well, there's going to be a little bit of that, but also providing a little bit of dampening sound wave wise. So if I could obscure, or if I can provide some sort of foam in here to absorb the sound waves, they won't reverberate back on the engine as much and on the frame, and they won't cause that, like, you know, harmonic resonance type action where at certain RPMs it just vibrates like crazy. Anyway, I'm off to the hardware store to figure that out, and I'll probably come up with a few solutions, but you know what, it'll be a good sequel video to our skid plate install video that we have. Anyway, wish me luck. I'm gonna take us back on the road here so we can finish up the rest of this channel update for the month. Cheers, folks.
So looking beyond, hope it's not too windy. It's actually a pretty windy day. But looking beyond the 2020 ride season at Island ADV, what are we gonna have for videos? Well, here's a little bit of an idea on how we're gonna progress forward. All of this last season, we looked at the east. We went out east, we went down east, central Prince Edward Island. Well, the goal here is to stick again into that central area, but to also explore a little bit out west. So we're going to creep towards Summerside. We're going to dive into Kensington a little bit this season, and we're going to show off some of the real beautiful places that lie at the end of the red dirt roads out in that direction. Because you know what, that's a great spot too, and from what I hear, there's excellent ADV trails to explore, so I'm excited for that too. Some other things, early season stuff, while the KLR still sits out some of the last cold days of this winter, we're going to end up taking a look at some of the mods and overall at the KLR 650, the Silver Fox, and get an idea of exactly how I built the machine up and how it's been working for me. Not so much a review, but just the kind of thing that kept up new subscribers and new members of the ride group on how it looks. And lastly, we do have some new gear that's coming down the pipe. New tech is on the way, and I can't wait to share that with you too. But who knows? Depending on how when I get it, I might want to just blurt it right out all over Instagram. So if you haven't already followed me on Instagram, definitely check us out at Island_ADV at Instagram. Follow us there. You get a little bit of a sneak peek on our videos every week, and I try to post something regular there too. Just some photos. And definitely hit me up there as well if you want to send me a message or if you ever want to share a story. Anyway, this is a really quick ride. I'm staying away from the mud today, folks, because at that season right now, you're either in mud or you're in snow, and the mud is up to your ears. And I want to have a nice slow introduction for Silver Fox into the new 2021 riding season. Anyway, I am super excited to get back out on the bike. I'm loving it. It's been great to be out here. I hope you guys are having a great first ride too. Again, really be safe out there, folks. Until the next one, take care, fellow Island Riders.